Okay, so welcome everyone to the Audit and Finance, the March committee meeting, and we will go ahead, Ms. Roaring, with items that we are doing tonight.
Okay. Item 1.1 is the resolution to accept the monthly pay insider report for the month of February.
Mr. Dory, any questions?
No.
I do not either. Okay.
Item number 1.2 is the resolution to approve the monthly bills and reports for January.
Mr. Dory, do you have any,
No questions.
okay, we're good. Thank
We're
you.
good.
Item 1.3 is a resolution to create 2 new scholarships. One is coming to us from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. They would like to make that an annual award of $500 to a graduating NFA senior. And the second one is coming to us from an individual that would like to sponsor two scholarships each year at $250 a piece for a student participating in the dual language program at Fostertown School.
Mr. Dory, any comments?
No, I'm not gonna turn down money.
No, and scholarship is a good thing. So do we normally make this brief presentation in the regular board meeting to explain to the public that it's coming from CNI or an individual for what it is? I mean, I think it's worth just making a note, not just, accepting scholarships, because people don't read the information.
So we might need to separate that one out to be able to have that conversation. I don't know that I can bookend it in my consent agenda, but.
Well, I mean, I can ask when we're discussing, I can ask that, bring that up so you don't have
Okay.
to separate it out.
Okay.
Okay. If no one brings it up or it's not said, I will ask, where are they from?
Okay.
Okay, so the public knows.
Okay.
Okay, 1.4,
1.4 is a resolution to approve the annual health and welfare rates. This is the rate that we bill to districts whose students attend a school inside of our district. They may be at a private parochial school, they may be attending our school, but we bill them for these services every year. They do the same.
and the state helps set these rates or sets these rates?
No, these are independent to each district. It's based on our actual costs, and then it's calculated as a per student rate. There is guidance on what's included in determining the cost.
Okay, 1.5,
1.5 is a resolution to approve obsolete surplus materials.
Mr. Doré?
No, I looked at the list.
I'm sorry, I skipped you on the last one too, I think.
Oh, no.
Okay, you good?
No, Ms. Rory explained it fine. My
Okay.
question was, what is it? But
Oh,
she
okay,
answered it.
okay, thank you. 1.6,
1.6 is the first part of our spring athletic transportation bid. This was broken out into 2 parts. The first part we bring to you this evening is we have trips coming up, and the second part is anticipated to come to you at the April 11th meeting for trips that occur after that date.
Mr. Doré, do you have any questions?
No,
The only question I have is, it seems that one of the companies, if I'm reading it correctly, is charging $104 per trip. Is that correct? And it's it's 5 hours? Is that possible that's
I'm
the
gonna have to
charge?
pull that information, share with you, because, yeah, we probably gonna have to pull more details, but I will get that information and share with you,
Okay,
just to be good, just to be.
Yeah, I mean, they want all the other things, and I'd like it to be that low, but that
It's
seems.
the per hour rate.
I think it's six times 100.
Oh, so it's per hour at
Yeah,
100?
because the
Okay,
bid, the total hours.
I'm sorry. I thought that was the
Yeah.
total for that trip. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And the
Okay.
hours is our estimate of what that trip is going to be. If it's more or less, obviously we would pay them in accordance
Yeah,
to that.
okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was, I thought it was billed tripwise.
What's
not
more
hourly.
surprising is the significant difference between the 2 bids for the same hourly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
no, that's why they won all of, I think. Okay. 1.7,
1.7 is a resolution to authorize a budget transfer that's in excess of $200,000, which is in compliance with the board policy on budget transfers. One of the items associated with this is transfer for contract for excellence. So earlier this year, you all received our annual audit and the corrective action plan, and part of that was to have specific codes within our account code structure where these expenses were occurring for tracking purposes. And this allows us to shift the money from where it was originally budgeted into these created codes so that we can comport to that.
Mr. Doré, do you have any?
Seems reasonable.
So when you're saying one of them, it's not all of the money transferred for that reason? Or is it all?
It's
6
a
million?
single budget transfer for
It's-
that reason.
Okay, so one of 6 million to transfer to that, for that cost, for proper,
Accounting.
accounting purposes. Okay. All right, thank you. 1.8,
1.8 is a tax refund to an individual. There was an error in, what do I want to say, exemption that was due to that individual, and so we have to correct that. So this would authorize us to provide that return.
Mr. Doré?
$660.
Yeah, it looked just a clerical mistake.
It was a clerical mistake on the assessment roll. So they inadvertently left off the senior citizen exemption that this individual is entitled to. So we have to correct that.
Okay. So now, the committee will recess into,
We
no,
have,
I'm sorry.
we had two quick things we wanted to discuss.
Sure.
I think that may have been noted or not. There was one item that, Ms. Tudico, your treasurer, wants to discuss with you around, our bank accounts.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Rory. So,
Executive session.
No, not yet.
not
No.
yet.
We'll kick you out. What do you think?
So thank you. So one of the things we've been looking at this year is our bank accounts. We currently have 18 active bank accounts across 5 banking institutions. Each of these accounts requires daily monitoring and monthly reconciliation. So we've done an in-depth analysis of the activity associated with each of these accounts. And we've given careful consideration to how this activity and how these balances are reflected. We want to make sure that there is transparency with this information. So we no longer want to commingle funds for separate account into one single money market account. So what we are recommending is closing 4 bank accounts with M&T Bank. Those are the property tax, money market, general fund capital reserve, and capital money market account. And we'd also like to recommend that we establish 2 new accounts, the cafeteria money market and the library money market. So this will serve as a way to properly reflect each of the current assets for those particular funds. And it will clearly show any fund balance that they have.
Okay. Mr. Doré?
You said where the 4 closing are the 2 opening. You add M&T also.
At this time, we haven't considered exactly which bank we would be opening them.
And when you close the 4 accounts at M&T, is that all our accounts there or?
No, it's not. We have 13
Okay.
at M&T.
So you're really just making the accounting process more streamlined and it reflects true,
So yes, right now, unfortunately, the way that it's structured, the fund balance available to the Newburgh Free Library and our school lunch fund sits commingled with the district's assets. So when you look at the reports on a monthly basis, you can't necessarily know exactly what's theirs and what's ours. This allows us to segregate that out and give them an opportunity to have access to a small investment account. It's a money market account, but it would be very transparent what they have in terms of fund balance, what we have, and it would clean up some of those items that have just been out there. Because the board does approve our bank accounts at their organizational meeting every July, we have to bring this forward to you, and we'll need to bring it to the full board at the next meeting for their approval, if you're okay with it.
I'm fine with it. Makes sense.
I'm fine also, and it certainly does make sense than having commingled accounts. But so there isn't any other commingled accounts then, just what you're cleaning up now?
Yes.
Changing.
Before
Yeah,
this.
we are. That's
Okay.
correct.
So, I mean, I don't know if you, when you bring it to the full board or not, if you want to list the accounts that we have, and
We'll
the
do
amount.
admin content for that one. We would
Yeah.
discuss it.
Yeah,
But
and-
we'll do an admin content.
and then they can see why it's necessary to do this. Is it more uniform with all the
Yes.
different accounts going forward? Okay,
It allows us to also blend some of our assets and have some of the returns from an interest perspective, which is important to our revenue side of the equation as well.
okay. Is there something else to?
There's one other notification Ms. Lakai is going to give you around purchasing resolutions that we anticipate may come forward for the March 28th meeting.
Thank you, Sharon. Finance anticipates the following RFPs for the March 28th meeting. And we apologize that we weren't ready right now because we just opened them and we're working right now with the purchasing agent to put them together. One of them is nursing services RFP. We already had the committee meeting and recommended awards are to J&D Ultra Care and AcuCare. So those are the two vendors we've been already using and working well for the district and for our kids. We also recommend E-rate services RFP to be awarded to Tellogic Inc. for $21,000. We have to do this because we over the threshold of $20,000 state threshold, so we have no choice. And we are presenting this to the board and to you as per recommendation of Ms. Peterson of Onyx.
Okay, so you need our okay to go forward or no? The whole
We're just
board
letting
will
you
make-
know that
that
those
this
are gonna
is
come up in an.
correct.
Okay, and if there were 19,900, it wouldn't come before us, correct? Because it's over
It
20.
wouldn't. What we recognize this year is that the E-rate service provider that we've been using exceeds the $20,000 threshold. So to comport to general municipal law, we needed to go out for an RFP. It was done in consultation with Ms. Peterson, as this is her area. And we were able to actually obtain a better price from a
Correct.
different provider.
Better
so we'll be
pricing
making that
previously they
transition.
had.
Oh, okay.
So
So the RFPs went out and they were responded to and you picked one. It's just now it needs this
the board
additional step
approval, yes.
of approval.
It'll go at the March 28th meeting. We weren't ready for this.
So we all ready for that.
Okay.
However, in addition, we have, we are in the process of finalizing few other RFPs, but we would like to put them on the March 28th. One is software services, and this is going to be a multi award because those are all the software services that we're going to be using for 23-24 school year. And most of them are over the $20,000 threshold. So we had to put them for RFP. And we have a meeting tomorrow in regards to those with Mr. Peterson again. So we're just going to have that on the 28th. of
Okay,
August.
so there may be a few coming up then.
Yes,
Mr.
and
Tony?
not, yes.
Good so far.
Good, okay.
The district-wide transportation for 23-24 school year as well. And mechanical transportation that is going to be opening this week as well. And those are necessary also for our transportation services.
Okay. When does the transportation have to be in? When are those?
The
bids?
transportation RFP was our comprehensive RFP that we did this winter to really restructure how we do transportation in the district. We have had over 700 annual contracts for transportation, and this allows us to go to about 5, because there would be one per provider.
It's going to be.
So it allows us to also reevaluate all the routes that we're running and then recognize some efficiencies. So that is going to be July 1st start. So we have a little bit of time. We've been working with them to make sure that they can get us all their appropriate documentations and
Yeah,
specifications.
we just waiting for a little small logistics that documentation is going to be ready for the 28th. And the last thing, we just opened the bid for the window asbestos at NFA Main. We had a little problem. It came very, very high. So we decided to send the resolution to the board to reject the bid, and we advertising that as we speak. So we advertised today, and it's going to be ready for the board meeting on the 28th because we're trying to do that work during the spring break.
Okay.
You
So
all
we
heard a
didn't-
little bit about their last information.
Yeah, we discussed it in
Yeah.
facilities a little.
Yeah.
Did we reject it? Did we officially reject it yet or
We
no?
have notified them that we are rejecting the bid. The board will officially reject the bid at March 28th.
Resolution is ready for that, and we're going to open them the 21st and accept.
So we'll reject previous and
And-
accept something,
That is
hopefully,
correct.
hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully, we have some good,
But the same bidders could bid again, correct?
They can, but this one came in about 7+ times greater than what we had been receiving when we just went out and asked them to quote us.
Okay.
So we had something similar happen last spring when we were doing asbestos abatement over at Ann Street, where it came in a couple $100,000 and we were able to rebid it and get it down to about 85. So this one came in around 185 and we're looking to rebid it, hoping to get it under 50,
The last number was under 50 or 150?
under 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there weren't any other bids for this?
We sent this to several vendors. We contacted several vendors. Unfortunately, only this particular vendor bid it back. So we had no choice than to reject the bids and re-advertise.
Who was the one bidder?
I don't have the name of it with me right now, but I can email it to you. Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, it will.
They probably knew there was not going to be that many bidders, so.
Perhaps it's also a
Higher
short
than the law.
turnaround.
Or maybe they just took advantage and say, hey, let's bump this number. Who
Yeah.
knows what's gonna happen?
Well, listen, asbestos is a tricky
Yeah.
thing to work with too. But, you know, what may be required, manpower and disposal and things like that.
That's it.
That's it? Okay, so now we're going to, go into executive session for
Thank you.
discussing the employment of a
Thank you.
particular company.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Ray.